What's up, traders? Matt from the Trade Brigade here doing a technical analysis on ticker symbol AMZN for Amazon.com. On the left-hand side, we have the daily time frame, and on the right-hand side, the 30-minute intraday time frame. First things first, this will, of course, be an update. We talk about the stock regularly here on the channel. The main thing to point out is this big area of support from in the past. It was essentially a year-long consolidation low around 31.76. And notice, if I zoom in a little bit here, that's exactly where we're trying to resolve right now. As long as we can accept on the higher side, above 31.76, I would start to think that this is a bullish acceptance move for Amazon, nothing more than a look below and fail back into the range. Maybe over the course of a long while, we work our way up towards the top, 37.65. Again, that's not really a short-term thought. That's a much longer-term thought, probably something illustrated best on a weekly time frame, but that's where my head's at, especially around this level with 31.76. As we start to build out a balance range in here, it's going to be very simple. We either play ping pong or a larger move is initiated up and over the top end of that balance, which is currently sitting, let's go ahead and throw that level on here, at 32.55 roughly, we'll call it, just for round number's sake. The next target is going to be 33.35, and then after that, the big round number, 3,500, okay? And you can see where that's coming from. Prior structure here, resistance, and then resistance in the past as well for that 3,500. So that's the upside in Amazon from the daily. Of course, if we break down underneath the lows, which at this point in time, I would just start looking at this here. It's sort of the low end of this consolidation that we've been experiencing, and we'll actually turn on our levels here on the 30-minute time frame. You can see that. So support, sort of, congestion in that area. If we break down underneath that, it's a move to the top of the gap, right? At 30.14, we'll call it, just round number's sake, right? Top of the gap from the big earnings cycle conundrum. Let's go ahead and zoom in on the 30-minute time frame now and talk a little bit more nuance. What I do want to point out here is the fact that we are continuously producing higher lows. Even with the terrible CPI numbers that came out today, we still have a higher low from this sort of trend perspective right here. As long as we can remain above the support trend line I just sort of roughly sketched in, we can put one in actually solidly here. We want to ignore that lower wick. We're going to opt for the most data touches. So here, 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 and here. As long as we remain above that, eventually looking for this to build out as an ascending triangle, break out up and over that recent high balance from in here, as we discussed, 32.55 takes us into those next upside levels. For an intermediate level, this would certainly be on my radar, right? So for your short-term scalpers, maybe Friday 0 DTE options traders, if we can clear the 32.13, that's probably a long trade to the top end of the balance, and then I would reassess, right? You don't want to push your luck there, and especially with 0 DTE, especially if it goes sideways, you don't want to be holding those options long, so please reassess, probably take a majority of profits at that 32.55 if this even unfolds in the first place. Let's quickly zoom in a little bit further on today's price action, see what else we can learn about it. Really choppy day, to be quite frank with you. If we come in with the Fibonacci's, what you'll notice is a lot of time was just spent in sort of zone number 2. Remember, zone number 1 is above the 38.2, zone 2 is in between our 2 Fibonacci's, and 3 is obviously down below. With all this chop in the midway, to me, direction is honestly not abundantly clear. I just really have those longer term thoughts and levels to be paying attention to from the daily time frame chart. If you want to be short Amazon, again, I would probably just be a little bit more patient and not necessarily even look for a break of today's lows. It's probably got to be a break of this level right here, that 31.36, coming from the prior support, right? You can clearly see how important that level was, especially here. Oops, that's not what we wanted. Here, as we resist at it, we support at it, support kind of at it here. If that breaks, okay, that probably opens the door a little bit further to the top of the gap, as we pointed out earlier. So those are my thoughts and some scenarios for Amazon. If you enjoyed the video today or learned anything new, let me know in the comments section or by giving the video a thumbs up. Don't forget our main channel is linked in the description. And all of that being said, I wish you a green trading week.